Baraka Israel, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, all praises, glory to Yahweh, Hallelujah, praise Yahweh, Merakad, Yahweh, rest upon you. And saying that, let's open up the book and let's go straight to Jeremiah, the 4th chapter, because see, understand what y'all worshiping, because see, y'all like understanding what y'all worshiping, and as a result of a lack of understanding, y'all fall victim to the system of Illuminati, to where you die outside of your faith. What I had, Jeremiah 4 and 22. Jeremiah chapter 4 verse 22. For my people is foolish. Now when you say my people, he's talking about the nation of Israel. However, although life is already written, you understand me? So he's talking about the elect of Israel. You understand me? His people, the elect of the Gentiles. Why? Because see, the Gentiles are going to come and they're going to learn these commandments. They're going to learn to be obedient due to the fact of that the kingdom of Yahweh God is reverse slavery. You understand me? Because see, understand the Gentiles don't know the commandments. They never was taught the commandments. You understand me? Let's read that again. Jeremiah chapter 4 verse 22. For my people is foolish. And he basically talking about the nation of Israel, because it applies to the nation of Israel, because this is the Bible, the scriptures is for Israel. You understand me? That's who Yahweh Shai came for. You understand me? When you go to Romans 9 and 4. You understand me? Let's go back from the beginning. Let's read that again. Jeremiah chapter 4 verse 22. For my people is foolish, meaning that the nation of Israel is foolish, and a lot of you all that call yourself believers, y'all are foolish. You understand me? They have not known me. Y'all foolish to where y'all don't know Yahweh God, meaning that the Gentiles don't know Yahweh God because they was never taught the commandments. And the Israelites, the Israel, they heard of the commandments, yet they rejected the commandments of Yahweh God and embraced the commandments and ideology and the images of these other nations. And as a result, Yahweh God put the nation of Israel in economic, religious enslavement to this day. You understand me? Let's read that again. For my people is foolish, they have not known me, meaning that the nation of Israel never knew Yahweh God due to the fact of their rebellions, due to the fact of being stiff-necked, due to the fact of that following these other nations. You understand me? Let me get I'm going to the book of 1 Samuel. I'm gonna get 8, chapter 8, and I'm gonna start at 3. I'm gonna go to verse 1, then I'm gonna jump down to verse 3. 1 Samuel chapter 8 verse 1. And it came to pass when Samuel was old that he made his sons judges over Israel. Now let's go down to verse 3. And his sons walked not in his way, but turned aside after lucre, and took bribes, and perverted judgment. Then all the elders of Israel gathered themselves together, and came to Samuel unto Ramah, and said unto him, Behold, thou art old, and thy sons walk not in thy ways. Now make us a king to judge us like all nations. But this thing displeased Samuel, when they said, Give us a king to judge us. And Samuel prayed unto the Lord, Yahweh. And the Lord said unto Samuel, Hearken unto the voice of the people, and all they say unto thee, for they have not rejected thee, but they have rejected me, that I should not reign over them. Meaning that the Israel wanted the other nations policies, economic policy, political agendas to rule over them, or the commandments of these other nations to rule over them. You understand me? Instead of having the commandments to rule over the nation of Israel. Because see, I don't want to get ahead of the lesson, but y'all have to understand the commandments is the divine governing system, right? That divine governing system is what we know as the 12 tribes of Israel. You understand me? Because the 12 tribes of Israel, they makes up that divine governing system due to the fact of that the commandments come directly from Yahweh God. So it makes it divine. You understand me? And then you have the commandments of man. And the commandments of man is the commandments of man has his own religious ideology, philosophical, political views. You understand me? And the physical and the physical and the spiritual, they clash. See, y'all have to learn and understand what y'all worship, because y'all really don't understand what y'all worship. And although you was baptized, although you confessed it, although you went into communion this Passover or whatever Easter y'all celebrated, yet at the end of the day, through all them cultural religious practices, is nothing but emptiness. You understand me? Everything that y'all did is nothing but emptiness, because y'all lack understanding, even though y'all have these religious teachings. Because see, understand again, as I state through all my videos, the church is not designed to teach you what you worshiping, because the church is a religious governance system of man, not of Yahweh God. The only governance system of Yahweh God is what we know as the commandments. You understand me? Let's go back. Let's get the let's start from the beginning again. 1 Samuel. 1 Samuel chapter 8 verse 1. And it came to pass when Samuel was old that he made his sons judges over Israel. Verse 3. And his sons walked not in his ways, but turned aside after lucre, and took bribes, and perverted judgment. Then all the elders of Israel gathered themselves together, and came to Samuel and unto Ramah, and said unto him, Behold, thou art old, and thy sons not walk in thy ways. Now make us a king to judge us like all the nations. But this thing displeased Samuel when they said, Give us a king to judge us. And Samuel prayed unto the Lord. And the Lord said unto Samuel, Hearken unto the voice of the people in all that they say unto thee, for they have not rejected thee, but they have rejected me, that I should not reign over them, according to all the works which they have done since the day that I brought them up out of Egypt, even unto this day, wherewith they have forsaken me and served other gods, so do they also unto thee. Even to this day, y'all serve other gods, because see, y'all don't understand. Idolization is not just about graven images. You understand me? It is what it is, because see, y'all have to understand. Worshiping is an act of obedience. You understand me? See, the church don't teach you obedience. The church is not designed to teach you what you worship. You understand me? And as a result, y'all fall victim to a Illuminati system. You die outside of your faith. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is. Now, verse 9. Now therefore hearken unto the voice of now therefore hearken unto their voice. Howbeit yet protest solemnly unto them, and show them the manner of king that there should reign over them. And Samuel told all the words of the Lord unto the people, that they asked of him a king. Let's go down to verse let's go down to let's go down to 14. Verse 14. And he will take, but so let's go up to verse 11, then down to 14. And he said, This will be the manner of your king that shall reign over you. And basically what he's talking about, listen, as you go down into the verses, he's talking about the policies that's in place. You understand me? Because see, understand the Bible is a political book, right? So he's talking about economically. You understand me? And Yahweh God put the nation of Israel economic enslavement and religious enslavement. You understand me? It is what it is. Let's read verse 11 again. And he said, This will be the manner of the king that shall reign over you. Let's go down to verse 14. Let's go down to 12. Verse 12. And he will appoint captains over thousands and captains over 50s, and will set them to air his ground and to reap his harvest, to make his instruments of war instruments of his chariots. You understand me? And basically what he's talking about is those policies or the modern terminologies that they use to promote their agenda or to promote their policies. Like racism, DEI, discrimination. You understand me? All these racism, all these are political weapons of war. These are instruments that's used. You understand me? It is what it is. See, weapons don't always deal with instruments that can kill you. You understand me? Same thing with idolization, idol worshiping. A lot of you idol worship, but you don't understand y'all in idolization due to the fact of that y'all in the religious teachings and not understanding what this political game is about because it all relates to the scripture. You understand me? Let's read that again. Let's go down to verse 14. And he will take your fields and your vineyards and your olive yards, even the best of them, and give them to his servants. Now let's go down to verse 17. He will take 10th of your sheep, and ye shall be his servants. And ye shall cry out in that day, because the king which ye have chosen you, and the Lord will not hear you in that day. Verse 19. Nevertheless, the people refused to obey the voice of Samuel, and they said, nah, but we will have us a king anyway, that we also may be like all the nations, and that our king may judge us and go out before us and fight our battles. Meaning that the nation of Israel rejected the commandments, because they didn't want the commandments of Yahweh God to rule over them, yet they wanted the commandments of man to rule over them. So they rejected the commandments of Yahweh God, embraced the commandments of man. So Yahweh God put their ass in slavery. Even to this day, a lot of y'all like understanding, because a lot of y'all are enslaved religiously, politically, economically, and culturally to the commandments of man. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is. See, so understand that even to this day, they lack understanding. When you go to New York City, right? They don't understand socialism, right? They don't understand communism. Yet, see, understand that when these immigrants or undocumented immigrants come to America, they escaping socialism. They escaping economic enslavement. You understand me? They escaping communism. You understand me? Now, see, understand, America is a religious capitalist country. See, there is freedom into capitalism. You understand me? It's what it is. See, so y'all really have to get a basic understanding of what y'all worship. You understand me? Look, at the end of the day, you can't separate politics and religion, although you try to. Yet at the end of the day, y'all end up into politics and religion. You understand me? Because life is based on politics and religion. The religion is your belief, and the politics is how you carry out your belief system, culturally, politically, dietarily, economically, etc. You understand me? Let's go back to Jeremiah. Jeremiah chapter 4 verse 22. For my people is foolish. They have not known me, and they don't know Yahweh God. Because if you know Yahweh God, you know the commandments. And if you know the commandments, you know Yahweh God. And the first commandment is idolization. You understand me? Thou shalt have no gods before me. Thou shalt bow down to no gods. And thou shalt serve no gods. See, and that's what y'all have to understand. Idolization is not just about the images. Y'all idolize the government, their policies, their regulations, their rule over you. You understand me? Like, I'm giving an example like democracy. A lot of y'all are captive to democracy because you think it means freedom, but it don't mean freedom. You understand me? So y'all captive to democracy to where y'all embrace the commandments and the ideology of the physical nature of man, and y'all reject the commandments of Yahweh God. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is. See, so y'all have to understand, y'all are foolish. Y'all lack understanding of what you voting for. Same thing with Spamberger up in Virginia. What happened? She ran as a moderate. Black people voted for her because they didn't understand the game. She turned around and signed legislations that's finna raise their taxes. They finna pay to eat. They finna pay to take an Uber. They finna take everything that they got. Now go back to New York City with Madani. Madani finna implement a city-owned grocery store. Now Brandon Johnson tried that shit in Chicago, but it don't work. You understand me? See, these city-owned grocery stores, meaning that you can't go in and out of the grocery store like how you want to go to Pathmark or whatever grocery store that you are into, Family Dollar. You can't go in and out of a city-owned grocery store. You understand me? See, y'all don't understand communism and socialism. Y'all don't understand the economic enslavement. Because, see, life is based on captivity. You understand me? It is what it is. See, there ain't no such thing as freedom. And that's what y'all have to understand. And through a lack of understanding, y'all fall victim. Because democracy don't mean freedom. It promotes independence and free will, but yet democracy makes and breaks a country. That's why you see all the other nations on this planet, they don't deal with democracy, although their political system is built on democracy. You understand me? But they don't govern the Africa, Champagne, Russia, North Korea, Australia. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is. See, so y'all really have to understand what you worship. You understand me? Because see, at the end of the day, y'all are separated through y'all religious teachers, but not understanding. Let's finish up. Jeremiah chapter 4, verse 22. For my people is foolish, they have not known me. They are silent children, they have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge. Meaning that y'all don't understand knowledge. Y'all wise to do good. To know Yahweh God is to have knowledge. To have knowledge is to know Yahweh God, and to know Yahweh God is to know the commandments. You understand me? You understand me? It is what it is. See, so y'all are wise to do evil. Now, it's not saying that, okay, you quick to steal out of a store, or you quick to take somebody's pocketbook, or you quick to steal up a car. He's not talking about that type of evil. Anything outside of the commandments is evil. Any of a lifestyle outside of the commandment is idolization, sorcery, and witchcraft. You understand me? See, y'all have to understand these things, and these things is not taught in Bible studies. These things is not taught in y'all Bible seminars. You understand me? So y'all lack understanding and what y'all worshiping. I'm gonna give you an example. Let me get Isaiah. We're gonna get back into the lesson, but let me get Isaiah 29 right quick, and then let me get verse 11, and then I'm gonna go up to verse 10. Verse 11 and 12, and then go up to 10. Isaiah 29, verse 10. For the Lord I pour out upon you the spirit of deep sleep. And we're talking about that spirit, that divine spirit is sleep, meaning that spiritually you don't even understand what you're looking at. You can't comprehend the terminology that these politicians use to promote their agenda. You understand me? So in other words, when it comes to the spiritual nature, you are asleep. You don't have no understanding. Let's read that again. For the Lord I poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep, and have closed your eyes. The prophets and your rulers, the seers, has he covered. And basically what he talking about, he closed your eyes, meaning that y'all not able to see beyond the physical nature. Y'all sight is limited. You understand me? See, so when it comes time for these biblical scriptures to be prophesied, y'all sight is limited. You understand me? Due to the fact that they're embracing of the commandments of man and their religious teachings. Let's go back from the beginning again, verse 10. For the Lord hath poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep, and hath closed your eyes. The prophets and the rulers, your seers have he covered. Meaning y'all religious leaders, they don't understand the Bible neither. They don't understand this political game. You understand me? How it relates to the scriptures. You understand me? It is what it is. See, so your religious leaders don't even understand the scriptures. You understand me? It is what it is. Verse 11. And the vision of all is become unto you afterwards of a book that is sealed, which delivered to one that is learned, saying, read this, I pray thee. And he said, I cannot, for it is sealed. Meaning that y'all religious leaders can't even see. So when it comes time for these scriptures to be read, you lack understanding of what you worshiping, because your religious leader didn't teach you what you were worshiping, or go into great detail into what you worship. You understand me? So as a result of that, y'all lack understanding, so therefore y'all are asleep spiritually. You understand me? See, y'all call yourself wokeness in the physical, yet in that physical wokeness, y'all still lack understanding. So therefore y'all become foolish. You understand me? Y'all are silent. Let's go back to Let's read that again. And the vision of all is become unto you as the word of a book that is sealed, which delivered to one that learned, saying, read this, I pray thee. And he said, I cannot, for it is sealed. Meaning that although you had went to Bible study and Bible seminars and read a daily devotion or a food for thought, yet at the end of the day, when these events play out, you lack understanding. Therefore, you can't see beyond what you're looking at. You can't comprehend and understand this political game. So as a result, y'all fall victim economically, religiously, politically, etc. Let's go back. Jeremiah chapter 4, let's finish up. Verse 22. For my people are foolish, they have not known me. They are sottish children, and sottish means stupidity. Not saying 1 plus 1 is 8, but meaning that y'all stupid. And what y'all voted for, y'all stupid in y'all ideology. You understand me? Because you think that it's okay for a man to cut off his sexual parts, right? And participate in women's volleyball. Or go into a women's bathroom and sit down. You understand me? On the stall. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is. See, so y'all are sottish. Like when you go back to New York City, when you go back to Chicago, you go to California. All these black people that voted, that's Democrat, that voted for these people, they lack understanding. So what happened is that they're gonna enslave their own self through their own through their own supporting of these politicians' agenda. Because see, again, you have to create legislations to create that freedom. Now, when you create that freedom, you create legislations. During that creation of legislations, you end up enslaving your own self through legislations that you have created. You understand me? See, y'all like understanding of what the game is about. You understand me? That's why I was saying. That's why I always state in all my videos, learn and understand what y'all worship. I understand what I'm worshiping. You understand me? I understand these politicians' agenda. I see beyond their agenda, and I know what it's headed for. You understand me? But y'all don't understand this game. Y'all like understanding because you separate politics and religion, and you can't separate. You understand me? Because life is based on politics and religion. Again, your religion is your belief. The politics is how you carry that shit out. Carry your belief out. You understand me? So therefore, when it comes time to exercise the commandments, y'all don't know how to exercise the commandments. Y'all exercise the commandments of man. You understand me? Here's what it is. See, because to know the commandments is to know Yahweh God. So y'all exercise the commandments of man because you never was taught in church. You understand me? Any religious organization of what you was worshiping. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is. And so as a result, let me get Matthew 7 and 23 right quick. Matthew chapter 7 verse 23. And let me go to 22. Many will say unto me in that day, Lord, Lord, we have not prophesied in thy name, and have cast out devils in thy name, done many wonderful works. And then I will profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that worketh iniquity, meaning that he never knew you. Despite of your baptism and despite of your confessions, he never knew you because you lack understanding of what you was worshiping. You understand me? And a lot of y'all are foolish. A lot of y'all are sottish because y'all like understanding of what this political game is about. Y'all like understanding of biblical prophecy. As a result of this lack of understanding, y'all are in separation from Yahweh God through your religious teachings. Even though you believe in these teachings that you are with Yahweh God or God is with you. But in the reality of it, he's not with you. You understand me? He may be with you in the religious teachings of the ideology of man, but when it comes to the Hebrew scriptures, when it comes to the reality of it, of life, Yahweh God is not with you. You understand me? Because he never knew you. You understand me? Why? Because y'all live a lifestyle outside of your belief. You understand me? Despite of your confessions and your baptism, y'all live a lifestyle outside of the commandments, outside of your belief. So therefore, you are separated in your belief system. You understand me? Despite of your baptism and attending church services. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is. That's why, let me get, 2 Corinthians Um, let me get 2 Corinthians 13, I think 13 and 5. Second Corinthians chapter 13, verse 5. Examine yourself whether you be in the faith. That's why Paul tell you to examine yourself whether y'all in this faith or not. Because y'all lack understanding of what you worshiping, y'all lack understanding of what y'all were voting for. Therefore, through the result of a lack of understanding, y'all fall victim and die outside of your faith. You understand me? That's why Paul say examine yourself. You understand me? And y'all have to take a look at yourself. Politically, religiously, economically, culturally, and dietarily, and etc. You have to examine yourself whether you in this faith or not. Because see, although you may believe, confess, and baptize, yet at the end of the day, you don't believe. Despite of you saying that you believe. Because when you go back to what Yahweh told the woman at the well in John 4, where the hour come and the time is when true worshipers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth. See, so if you're not in the spirit, in that divine spirit, and you don't know the truth, how are you going to worship Yahweh God? You understand me? Because worshiping again is an act of obedience. You understand me? It is what it is. See, so you have to understand. Let's read that again. Examine yourself whether you be in the faith. Prove your own self. Know you not your own self that Yahweh Shai is in you, except you be reprobates. Now, basically, what he talking about, reprobate, basically means that y'all are cast away, y'all are no good to the gospel. You understand me? Let me go to Mark. I think it's what? Let me get what? Mark 7:7. Mark 7:7. Mark chapter 7, verse 7. However, Beth, in vain do they worship me. Matter of fact, let me start from verse 6. He answered and said unto them, Well have Isaiah prophesied of you hypocrites, as it is written, these people honor me with their lips, but their hearts is far from me. And that goes back into what we read into Isaiah 29. You understand me? This is what it is. Let's read that again. How would bet in vain? Now vain is emptiness. You understand me? How would bet in vain do they worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men? For laying aside the commandments of Yahweh God to hold the traditions of men. Meaning that y'all reject the commandments and y'all embrace the commandments of man. You understand me? Politically, religiously, economically, etc. For laying aside the commandments of Yahweh God, ye hold the traditions of men. Now let's go down to verse 13. Making the word of Yahweh non-effect through your traditions which ye have delivered. Meaning that even though you confess and believe, y'all still live a lifestyle outside of your faith. You understand me? See, so at the end of the day, he professed that he never knew you, due to the fact that you never learned and understand what you were worshiping. And secondly, is that through this religious teachings and these religious organizations of men, y'all died in idolization. You died in the separation from Yahweh God, because sin separates you from your God. You understand me? Same thing with Yahweh Shai. When Yahweh Shai took on the sins on that tree, he felt that separation and cried out, Father, why hast thou forsaken me? You understand me? It is what it is. Let me give you another example. Let me get another example. Let me get Deuteronomy 29, and then I'm gonna get I'm gonna start at 20. No, matter of fact, let me get 21. Deuteronomy 29, verse 21. And the Lord shall separate him And the Lord shall separate him unto evil out of the tribes of Israel, according to all the curses of the covenant that are written in this book of law. See, so this is the book of law. This Bible is a governing book. This Bible is a divine governing system. Do you understand me? Because the commandments governs a body of people. You understand me? See, so understand that Yahweh Shai separated itself from Israel and put their ass into slavery. Even to this day. You understand me? See, so sin separates you from Yahweh God. And a lot of y'all are separating y'all religious teachings. You understand me? But you don't understand that you are separated because you believe, you understand me, in religious titles, or you believe in a faith system of man that you have no understanding of. Because see, y'all have to understand, man religious ideology and its philosophy is against God, and Yahweh God is against the philosophy and the ideology of man. So he's got that separation. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is. See, so that's why Paul said, examine yourself. Either y'all going to be good to Yahweh God, or you're not going to be no good. You understand me? So that's why you have to examine yourself, because a lot of y'all join these religious organizations. A lot of y'all get baptized, but y'all lack understanding, so therefore y'all die in separation. You understand me? Through your religious teachings. You understand me? Let me get Isaiah let me get Isaiah 59 and 1, and let me go to the book of John, the 9th chapter. Isaiah 59 verse 1. Behold, the Lord's hand is not shortened that it cannot save, neither his ears heavy that it cannot hear. But your iniquities have separated. Listen. But your iniquities, and that iniquities is that lifestyle. But your iniquities have separated between you and your God, and your sins have hid his face from you, that he would not hear you, due to the fact of that rebelliousness. You understand me? That sinfulness, so therefore he don't do well. You understand me? He's not going to be with you. You understand me? It is what it is. See, so although y'all got confessed and got baptized, yet in these religious teachings, y'all still exercise the commandments of man, whether it's politically or religiously. Y'all captive to Jesus, who don't exist. But Jesus is the religious organization of man. You understand me? It goes back into Babylon. Do you understand me? Hey, it is what it is. And from Babylon to Serapis, all the way to Christianity. Or it's known as the gate of gods. Because see, understand, idolization is the beginning, the end, and the cause of all things. Let's read that again. Behold, the Lord's hand is not shortened that it cannot save, neither his ears heavy that it cannot hear. But your iniquities have separated between you and your God, and your sins have hid his face from you, that he would not hear you. See, so he's not going to hear you. You understand me? When you reject Yahweh God, he's going to reject you. You understand me? When he cried out, they rejected the commandment. So when they cry out, he's going to reject you. You understand me? Despite of your prayers or your confessions in the closet or your baptism, Yahweh God is not hearing you. A lot of y'all, he don't even know you. You understand me? Because see, y'all believe in Jesus, y'all believe in these religious titles, but y'all don't understand what y'all worshiping. Y'all become foolish and sluggish, and you die outside of your faith. You understand me? Let's go to John. John chapter 9, verse 39. And Yahweh Shai said, for judgment I have come into this world, that they which see might see, and that they which see might be made blind. Meaning that those that see might not be able to see. Meaning that although y'all physically can see, but y'all won't be able to understand what y'all looking at. You understand me? And they which see might be made blind. Meaning that y'all don't understand what y'all looking at, so therefore y'all like understanding. Y'all are blind to the political game that these politicians is playing. Y'all like understanding, so y'all are asleep to these biblical scriptures, because see, these the world will come to an end. Religious, astronomically, cataclysmic, and politically. You understand me? It is what it is. See, so with judgment he come. See, so some gonna wake up and understand, and a lot of y'all not gonna understand. You understand me? So those that see might not be able to see and understand. It depends. You understand? Verse 40. And some of the Pharisees which were with him heard these words, and they said unto him, Are we blind also? And Yahweh said unto them, If ye were blind, you should have no sin. But now you say we see, therefore your sin remaineth. And a lot of y'all sins are remaining. Meaning that y'all in idolization, y'all in separation, but you don't even understand you're in separation through these religious teachers and these religious organizations of man. Because the organization, religious, politically organization, they are against Yahweh God. You understand me? So therefore y'all sins are still present because y'all don't see that y'all in idolization. Y'all not able to see and understand the commandments because the commandments is not being taught. So when these events play out politically or astronomically cataclysmic, y'all not going to get an understanding. Therefore y'all are asleep to what's taking place spiritually and physically. Y'all are woke physical, but y'all physical wokeness is still asleep. Y'all physical wokeness is like understanding. So you're not really woke, you're asleep. You understand me? Because see, understand philosophy plus philosophy equals more philosophy. Do you understand me? And a lot of y'all sins are still present. You understand me? In spite of your baptism and your confession. Let me get first Corinthians 11, and let me get 28. 1 Corinthians chapter 11 verse 28. But let a man examine himself, so let him eat of that bread and drink of that cup. For he that eateth and drinketh unworthily eateth and drinketh damnation to itself, not discerning the Lord's body. And a lot of y'all can't discern the Lord's body because y'all not taught what to discern. You're not taught what to worship. You're not taught what to look for. You understand me? You're not taught what is pure and what is not pure. So as a result of lack of understanding, y'all fall victim. You understand me? That's why he said, examine yourself, whether you in this truth. Examine this yourself. Because a lot of y'all take communion and join new churches and get baptized, but not understanding the scriptures, not understanding biblical prophecy, not understanding how politically and religiously it all connects to the scriptures, because the Bible is a political book. It's not a religious book. You know, understand me? Hey, it is what it is. Let's finish up. Verse 30. For this cause many are weak and sickly among you, and many sleep. And a lot of y'all are sick in y'all ideology. So go back to Jeremiah 4:22. Y'all are foolish and silent. You understand me? Y'all are sick in y'all ideology, thinking that it's okay for a man to put on thongs and put on the wig and cut his dick off to be a female, knowing that in reality you're still a male. You understand me? Even though you can be a trans, but a woman, even though she's a trans, right? That woman already know that that man, even though he's a girl and want to be a girl ideology, but she already know DNA, and she already know in the reality of life that he's still a boy. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is. See, so y'all have to learn. So y'all have to learn to understand. With your worshiping, then you have to examine yourself into what y'all worship. Because a lot of y'all are separated through the religious teachers and through your baptism, because y'all lack understanding of what you worshiping. You understand me? Because see, understand, baptism is symbolic for life and death. You understand me? And what I'm talking about, what's that Biggie's album, Life After Death? You understand me? Because see, understand, Yahweh Shai put it in to the physical nature through the baptism. You understand me? Let me get Ephesians. Let me get Ephesians 2, and let me start at 14. Ephesians chapter 2 verse 14. For he is our peace, who have made both one, and have broken down the middle wall of partition between us. And that wall, what he talking about, is philosophy. You understand me? It's the philosophy. Go back into the Garden of Eden. Man's eyes became open. You understand me? So he talking about philosophy. Let's read that again. That's that middle wall, is philosophy. Let's read that again. For he is our peace, who have made both one, and hath broken down the middle wall of partition between us, having abolished in the flesh the enmity, even the law of the commandments contained in the ordinance, for to make in him of twine one new man, so making peace. Now let's go back to verse 15. Having abolished in the flesh the enmity. And what he talking about the flesh, he's talking about the physical nature. He put an end to the physical nature because the physical nature is a barrier. James 4:4 tell you, ye adulterous and adulterous, goes back to idolization. Friendship of the world is the enemy to Yahweh God. And if you friend with the world, you're an enemy to Yahweh God. You understand me? Because that world is a barrier. The world is the physical, material matters of man. And the material, physical matters of man, the physical nature of man is corrupt. You understand me? For the wages of sins is death. You understand me? See, so understand that baptism is symbolic. You understand me? For death and life. You understand? Meaning that through the baptism, you put an end to the physical nature. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is. Verse 16. And that he might reconcile both unto Yahweh in one body by the cross, having slain the enmity thereby. And he's talking about the physical nature. He put an end to the physical nature. You understand me? You understand me? It is what it is. Let's go back to Isaiah. Let me get to Isaiah 53. Let me get Isaiah 53 and 5, and let me go to go back to 1 Corinthians 11, and let me get go up to 24. Isaiah 53 verse 5. But he was wounded for our transgression, he was bruised for our iniquities. Now let's go down to verse 10. Yet it pleased the Lord to bruise him, he hath put him to grief. When thou shalt make his soul an offering for sin, he shall see his seed, he shall prolong his days, and the pleasures of the Lord shall prosper in his hand. Meaning that when he says see his seed and prolong his days, meaning talking about Yahweh Shai, when he came, he chilled with his disciples. He taught his disciples. And when he came back, he relaxed and chilled with his disciples. Meaning more days before he went back to the Father when he was beamed up in them ships. Do you understand me? Hey, it is what it is. See, so it pleased him to put an end to the physical nature. It pleased him to slain that physical nature, that flesh. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is. 1 Corinthians 11 verse 24. And when he had given thanks, he brake it and said, take, eat. This is my body. Listen. This is my body which is broken for you. And his body was broken, meaning that the physical nature was broken. You understand me? Due to the fact that the corruption. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is. See, let me go to Psalms 116 and let me get 15 right quick. Psalms. Oh, Shalaki, 116 verse, Psalms 116 verse 15. Precious in the sight of the Lord is the death of his saints. See, let's read that again. Precious in the sight of the Lord is the death of his saints. And yet it pleased the Lord to put Yahweh Shai to death. It pleased the Lord to put an end to the physical nature. That's why you go back to Romans when he says, by one man's disobedience, many were made sinners. Through the obedience of one, many gonna be made righteous. Yet death, and when you go up back into up a few verses in Romans 5, I think that death reigned from Adam all the way to Moses. You understand me? And all the way, so Yahweh Shai is known as the second Adam. You understand me? Due to the fact of that all men fell. You understand me? All men that's of God, all men that's in the flesh, meaning that they were born in the sinful nature. Yahweh Shai wasn't born in the sinful nature. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is. Let's read that again. Psalms 116, verse 15. Precious in the sight of the Lord, it is the death of his saints. And it's the death of his saints because they put an end to the physical nature and they walk in the divine nature. Do you understand me? Do you understand me? Hey, it is what it is. Let me go into the book of Romans. Let's get Romans 6 and 6 right quick. Romans chapter 6, verse 6. Knowing this, that our old man was crucified with him, that the body of sin might be destroyed, that we henceforth should not serve sin. Meaning that that body was destroyed. You understand me? It depends. Okay, it might be destroyed, it might not be destroyed. You understand me? The body is destroyed to those that truly believe, those that witness. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is. Verse 9. Knowing that Christ being raised from the dead dieth no more, death hath no more dominion over him. Meaning that the wages of sins is death. Due to the fact of that Yahweh Shai redeemed us from the curse of the law. You understand me? So we're no longer under the curses. You understand me? We're no longer under the penalties of death. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is. Let's read that again. Now let's start from 6, Romans 6 again. Romans chapter 6, verse 6. Knowing this, that our old man was crucified with him, that the body of sin might be destroyed, that we henceforth should not serve sin. Verse 9. Knowing that Christ being raised from the dead dieth no more, death hath no more dominion over him. For that and he died unto sin once, but that he lived unto Yahweh. Meaning that he died for that physical nature one time. You understand me? And a lot of y'all keep repenting over the same physical sins that he died once for. See, so therefore, as y'all continuously to repeat these transgressions, y'all not with Yahweh God, because he have to keep coming down. And it don't work like that. Do you understand me? Because he for once. See, so understand that this game is about obedience, because he died for that sinful nature one time. You understand me? That's why Paul said, examine yourself to whether you be in his faith or not, because a lot of y'all are reprobates. A lot of y'all are no good, even though you confess and got baptized. Yeah, y'all exercise the commandments of man. Y'all exercise democracy. You understand me? Religiously, y'all captive to this ideology of some white man coming out of the sky named Jesus just is going to save you. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is. You understand me? Let's go down to verse let's go down to verse 12. Let not sin therefore reign in your mortal body, that you should obey it in the lust thereof. Let's read that again. Let not sin therefore reign in your mortal body, that ye should obey it in the lust thereof. Meaning that even though through the baptism Yahweh Shai put an end to the physical nature, so therefore the physical nature should have no control over you, meaning that you should be able to control the physical nature. You understand me? Now, to control the physical nature is not just about obedience, but you have to be taught and you have to grow into this truth. You understand me? But yet at the end of the day, baptism is Yahweh Shai put an end to the physical nature through baptism. And baptism is symbolic for the end of that physical nature. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is, that you won't obey the lust thereof. You understand me? Because see, I don't want to get ahead. You got two types of spirit. You have a divine and a philosophical spirit. You understand me? And they clash, and that's the politics of it. You understand me? Because life is based on debate and conflict. You understand me? Let's go down to verse 13. Neither yield your members as instruments of unrighteousness unto sin, but yield yourself unto Yahweh as those that are alive from the dead, and your members as instruments of righteousness. For sin shall have no dominion over you, for you are not under the law, but under grace. Meaning that neither yield your members. Your members on your body is what you call your sexual organs, your hands, your feet, your ears, your eyes, your brain. All those are instruments. They can be used for good, instruments for good, or they could be instruments of war. Same thing with go back into the modern terminology that these politicians use. These are instruments of war, political weapons of war that they use to enslave you. You understand me? See, so y'all have to learn these things. Y'all have to understand what y'all worshiping. A lot of y'all got baptized but don't understand baptism. You understand me? Because baptism is the end of the physical nature, and Yahweh put it into the physical nature. You understand? You understand me? Hey, it is what it is. See, so sin shouldn't have no control over you. It shouldn't rule over you. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is. See, so understand, baptism is symbolic, and that baptism is the end of the physical nature. You understand me? And Yahweh put it into the physical nature by walking in the divine nature. You understand me? Let me get Romans 8, and let me get 3. Romans chapter 8 verse 3. For what the law could not do, in that it was weak through the flesh, and that the flesh is the physical nature, Yahweh sending his own son in the likeness of sinful flesh, and for sin condemned sin in the flesh, that the righteousness of the law might be fulfilled in us, who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit. For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh. And that's talking about the physical nature. Y'all mind is on material matters, property, prestige, fame, fortune, title, positions, etc. You understand me? But they that are after the Spirit, the things of the Spirit. And now when you say the things of the Spirit, talking about that divine nature. You understand me? So if you're going to be in if your mind is in the divine nature, you're going to be in the divine nature state of mentality. You understand me? Or you're going to be in the physical state of mentality of man. But the mentality, the physical nature of man leads to death. You understand me? Let's go over to Romans 7 and let's get verse 6. Romans chapter 7 verse 6. No, but let me start at 5. Verse 5. For when we were in the flesh, the motions of sin which were by the law did work in our members to bring forth unto death. And what he's talking about is exercising the physical nature, whether it comes time to sex, drugs, money, material matters, positions, etc. He's talking about all the physical nature of man. You understand me? And the physical nature of man is death. Go to John, I think 1 John 2, when he say love not the world, because the lust of the eyes of the flesh is not of the world. It's not of the Father, but it is of the world. The lust of the eyes, the flesh, the pride of life. And that all that lust is gonna come to a close. You understand me? It is what it is. See, so you have to understand what y'all worship, because this world will come to a close. Yet these events is going to play out, and y'all not going to understand it, so that they're going to come on you unawareness, like how you said. They're going to come as a snare. You understand me? As in, what you saying, the days of Noah, they were eating, drinking until that flood came. See, so when these events come, that's when y'all going to come to realization and understand. Do you understand me? Hey, it is what it is. Let's finish up verse 6. But now we are delivered from the law, being dead wherein we were held. We should serve in the newness of spirit, and not in the oldness of the letter, meaning walking in divine nature, not in the physical. Because see, understand, life is already written. That's why it's in the old letter. That's why we are in the old now, because life is already written. And that's what y'all have to get that understanding of. You understand me? That's why it's important to learn and understand what y'all worshiping. Do you understand me? Because a lot of y'all don't understand what y'all worshiping, and Yahweh put it into the physical nature through the baptism by walking in the divine nature. Let's go to Galatians. Let me get Galatians. Let me get Galatians. Let me get Galatians 4. Let me get 8. Galatians chapter 4, verse 8. However, back then, when ye knew not Yahweh, you did service unto them which by nature are no gods. But now, after ye have known, or have known Yahweh God, or rather are known of God, how ye turn again to the weak and beggarly elements whereunto you desire to be in bondage again. Because y'all don't understand what y'all worship, and so y'all desire to be in bondage by the commandments of man, not understanding what you worship. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is, because see, before you came to that divine system or that divine belief, you worship the physical nature of man. Even though y'all joined this organization and got baptized and confessed, yet at the end of the day, y'all still exercising the commandments of man. Go back to Mark 7. How would y'all make the word non-effect through the traditions that y'all deliver? Because y'all reject the commandments and embrace the ideology and the philosophy of man. And the religious ideology and philosophy of man is against Yahweh God. They are enemies. Do you understand me? Let me go Galatians 5 and then let me get down to verse 16. Galatians chapter 5 verse 16. This I say then, walk in the spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. Meaning that you have to walk in the divine nature. Once you walk in the divine nature, you won't fulfill the lust of the flesh. You understand me? And Yahweh Shai put an end to the physical and walked in the divine nature. You understand me? See, so y'all have to understand, he gave birth to the divine nature. You understand me? See, so when you go back to baptism, it's a symbolism for life and death. You understand me? See, so you are dead to the physical and you are alive to the divine nature. You understand me? Do you understand me? Hey, it is what it is. Let me get First John. Let me go to 1 John 3 and 8 right quick. First John chapter 3 verse 8. He that committed sin is of the devil, for the devil sinned from the beginning. For this purpose the Son of Yahweh was manifested, that he might destroy the works of the devil. And when he's talking about the works of the devil, he's talking about the physical nature. Go back into the garden. It's trickery and deceitfulness. You understand me? It is. So he's talking about the physical nature. Let's read that again. First John chapter 3 verse 8. He that committed sin is of the devil, for the devil sinned from the beginning. And the beginning talking about in the Garden of Eden. You understand me? Not talking about the beginning of creation. You understand me? For this purpose the Son of Yahweh was manifested, that he might destroy the works of the devil. And that goes back into Genesis, into the virgin birth, when he told the physical nature to separate thy seed from thy seed. See, so y'all like understanding and belief of biblical prophecy. You understand me? Although you was taught religiously. You understand me? Verse 9. Whosoever is born of Yahweh does not commit sin, for his seed remaineth in him, and he cannot sin because he is born of Yahweh. In this the children of Yahweh are manifested, and the children of the devil. Whosoever does not righteousness is not of Yahweh, neither he that loveth not his brother. Meaning that if you are outside of the commandments, you are not with Yahweh God. That means you hate Yahweh God. Because if you're in the commandments, you're going to love Yahweh God. To love God is to know the commandments. You understand me? To hate Yahweh God is to reject the commandments. You understand me? That's why Paul say, examine yourself. You have to continually examine yourself whether you're in the truth or not. Because see, even though you got baptized and confessed, but yet you lack understanding. So, and as a result of the lack of understanding, y'all die and y'all die outside of your faith. You understand me? Do you understand me? It is what it is. Matter of fact, let me get let me go into let me get John. Let me go into the book of John, the I think John 3. And then let me start at I'm gonna start at 3, but Yahweh Shai was talking to Nicodemus. John chapter 3, verse 3. Yahweh Shai answering and said unto him, verily I say unto thee, except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom. Why? Because the physical nature is corrupt. You understand me? Let me hold that. Let me get I think it's let me get 1 Corinthians. Let me get chapter 15, and I'm gonna go to verse 50. 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 50. Now this I say, brethren, that the flesh and blood cannot enter into the kingdom of Yahweh, neither does corruption inherit incorruption. Neither does corruption inherit corruption. Let's read that again. Now this I say, brethren, that the flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom. Neither does corruption inherit corruption. And basically talking about the kingdom of God, we're going to have new bodies due to the fact of that, due to the physical nature being a burial. You understand me? See, so flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom. The physical nature cannot inherit the kingdom. That's why Yahweh, should I say, go to Matthew 7 and Romans 8. You can't please Yahweh God in the flesh. That's why he don't even know you, because you did all these works in the physical nature of man. And he don't even know you because you never understood idolization. You never understood the commandments or came to know what you was worshiping. Because worshiping is an act of obedience. You understand me? Hey, it is, it is what it is. Oh yeah, let's finish up, verse 4. Nicodemus said unto him, how can a man be born when he is old? Can he enter the second time into his mother's womb and be born? And he's talking about the physical nature. Yahweh Shai answered, verily I say unto you, except a man be born of water and of spirit, he cannot enter the kingdom of Yahweh God. That which is born of the flesh is flesh, and that which is born of the spirit is spirit. Meaning the flesh, born of the flesh is the flesh, born of the spirit is the spirit. Meaning that you have to, when you baptize, you have to be born into that spirit. If you're not born in that, if that divine spirit is not born, then you're not part of the kingdom. You're not part of Yahweh God. He is not with you. You're not his people. That's why Paul said, examine whether y'all are really into this faith. Because y'all really not into this faith if you want to exercise the commandments of man. Y'all believe in God, Lord Jesus, who don't exist. Y'all believe in religious titles. When it comes time to exercise those titles, y'all exercise the commandments of man. Y'all exercise democracy. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is. See, so born of, talking about the physical nature. You have to be born in that divine nature. You understand me? You have to be born divinely. And a lot of you are not born divinely when that, and that take that the birth of life take place at baptism. And what you call that is what we call that birth after the baptism is what you call the convert. You understand me? Y'all have to convert, and y'all never converted fully. You understand me? As a result, y'all become separated even though you were baptized into these religious organizations. You understand me? Even though you were baptized in these organizations. You understand me? Let me get let's go to Mark let me go to Mark 10 and 13. Mark chapter 10 verse 13. And they brought the young children to him that he should touch them. And his disciples rebuked those that brought them. Let's read that again. And they brought young children to him that he should touch them. And his disciples rebuked those that brought them. But when Yahweh Shai saw it, he was much displeased and said unto them, suffer the little children not to come unto me, forbid them not, For such is the kingdom of Yahweh God. Verily I say unto you, whosoever shall not receive the kingdom of Yahweh as a little child, he shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. Even though like how a little child is to this day, you have to teach that child. So when it comes time to these scriptures and the baptism, into that rebirth, you have to be taught these scriptures. You understand me? The disciple was taught, Paul was taught. That's why it displeased him. Although the disciples knew about Yahweh Shai, they read about and believed in the writings of Moses. Yet, even though they had the writings of Moses and that belief, the disciples lacked it understanding. You understand me? But Yahweh Shai opened up their understanding. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is. But what he talking about is the city government, because see, understand, through the baptism, he put an end to the physical nature, meaning that we are no longer governed by the physical nature of man. We politically, religiously, culturally, or economically. You understand me? It is what it is. See, so understand that Yahweh Shai came and established a divine governing system. Go to we go to Matthew 4:17. Repent, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Now that kingdom is a divine governing system because the commandments governs a body of people. And Yahweh Shai came and brought a divine governing system and put an end to the governing system of man, because the governing system of man come in various forms and they are corrupt. You understand me? And that governing system, politically, religiously, are the physical nature of man, because man's eyes became open. So the lust of the eyes, the pride of life, go back into John 2. It's of the world, it's not of the Father. You understand me? The physical nature and everything is not of Yahweh God. That's why he say, be not of this world. Because this world today that we live in is against Yahweh God. You understand me? That's why Christ said in John 7, John 7, that the world can hate you, but he can't hate me. He hated me first because he testified of it, that the works are evil, and the works are the commandments of man, religiously, politically, economically, culturally. They are corrupt. Do you understand me? It is what it is. See, so he came to establish a divine governing system, so we are no longer under of the physical nature. But before I get that, let me go back to Romans 6, and then let me get 16. Romans chapter 6, verse 16. No, let me start at 15. Verse 15. What then? Shall we sin because we are not under the law but under grace? Yahweh forbid. Know you not that to whom you yield yourselves servants to obey, his servants ye are to whom ye obey, whether sin unto death, and that's the physical nature, or of obedience unto righteousness, and obedience unto righteousness is Yahweh Shai, because he is the commandments. He is the living commandments. And the commandments, Yahweh Shai testify against the world, ideology and philosophy. You understand me? See, so understand, Yahweh Shai came to establish a divine governing system, and he put an end to the philosophical system. So we are no longer under the physical nature or controlled by the physical nature. You understand me? By Yahweh Shai walking in the divine nature. Let me get Isaiah 9 and 6. Isaiah chapter 9 verse 6. For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government, listen, and that government shall be on his shoulder, and that government is the divine governing system, and it's called politically theocracy, politically it's called the commandments. You understand me? Like I told you, the commandments is a divine governing system. And Yahweh Shai came and established a divine governing system. You understand me? And put an end to the philosophical system. You understand me? Let me get Matthew. That's why he say examine yourself. Let me get Matthew 6 and 24 right quick. Matthew chapter 6 verse 24. No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate one or love the other, or else he will hold to one and despise the other. Ye cannot serve God and mammon, meaning that you can't serve Yahweh God, that divine governing system, and you can't serve the material matters of men. You understand me? You can't sit at two tables. You understand me? You can sit at a cup of you can sit at the table of devils, or you can sit at the table of Yahweh God. But you cannot sit at two tables. There is no in between. You understand me? And a lot of y'all think that there's an in-between. There is no in-between. Either you for Yahweh God or you're against Yahweh God. It is what it is. There is no in-between. That's why he say the body of sin might be destroyed. You understand me? That's why Paul say examine yourself. And go back to John 6. What did Yahweh Shai say? But there are some of you that believe not. Because he knew from the beginning who believed and who didn't. You understand me? Let me get Revelations 3. Hold back, Rain, please, Father. And let me get Revelations 3 and 15. Revelation, chapter 3, verse 15. I know thy works, thou art neither cold nor hot. I without red cold of hot. So then, because thou art lukewarm, neither cold nor hot, I spew thee out of my mouth. Meaning that he's not dealing with you. Because you're going to be obedient to the flesh or you're going to be obedient to the commandments. There is no in between. You understand me? That's why you have to examine yourself and prove whether you in this faith or not. You understand me? And a lot of you all die in idolization. A lot of you all are separated through your religious teachers, not understanding you are separated. It doesn't matter whether you got baptized and joined the choir. You understand me? Y'all lack understanding of what you was worshiping. You understand me? Because he put an end to the physical nature and established a divine governance system. Let me go to Acts 3 and 9. I think what, Acts 3? Let me get Acts 3 and 19. Acts chapter 3, verse 19. Repent ye therefore and be converted, that your sins may be blotted out when the time of refreshing shall come from the presence of the Lord. Verse 19. Let's read that again. Repent ye therefore and be converted, that your sins may be blotted out. See, so you have to convert. You understand me? And a lot of y'all didn't convert, so y'all sins are still present because you are not able to see. You understand me? Because you able to see, your sins are still present, so you have not converted. But if you're not able to see, then you converted. Because see, then you don't understand what you're worshiping. You don't understand what you're looking at, so you have to be taught this. That's why you have to become a little child. You have to learn these commandments because you grow into these commandments and you exercise these commandments. You understand me? So when you grow, you come closer to Yahweh God. You understand idolization. You understand the commandments. You understand the political game. You understand biblical prophecies when they take place or when they come to pass. You understand me? It is what it is. You understand me? Let me get First Peter 1 and 13 right quick. First Peter chapter 1 verse 13. Wherefore gird up the loins of your mind and be sober, and hope to the end for the grace that is to be brought unto you at the revelations of Yahweh Shai, as obedient children, now fashioning yourselves according to the former lust in your ignorance. But as ye which have called you is holy, be ye holy in all manner of conversation. And when you're talking about conversations and holy, meaning that even though you have physical conversations, yet you break your physical conversations down into the scriptures, and you break it down into the divine philosophy. You understand me? See, so understand Yahweh Shai put an end to the physical nature by walking in the divine nature. He put an end to the physical and walked in the divine nature. You understand me? Paul said you got to gird the loins of your mind. You understand me? You have to convert. You understand? Let me get Hebrews 9 to 14 right quick. Hebrews chapter 9 verse 14. How much more shall the blood of Christ, who through the eternal Spirit offered himself without spot, purge your conscience from dead works to serve the living Yahweh God? Meaning that he took them thoughts, those philosophical thoughts. You understand me? So you have to convert. He took those thoughts. You understand me? He put it into those physical thoughts. You understand me? Go back to Romans 8. You understand me? Those that mind is on the physical going to die, but those that mind is on the on the commandments is going to live spiritually. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is. See, so understand that Yahweh Shai put an end to the physical nature, the thinking, culturally, religiously, politically. You put an end to all that. That's why you have to examine yourself whether y'all are in His faith, and a lot of y'all not in His faith. You understand me? Let me get Mark 14 and 58 right quick. Mark chapter 14 verse 58. And we heard him say, I will destroy the temple that is made with hands, and within 3 days I will build another temple without hands. See, so he built another temple. He's talking about new bodies, because the physical nature is corrupt. You understand me? See, so when it comes time for the kingdom, we're gonna have new bodies. You understand me? Let me see if I can get one more before you go, because it's about to rain. It's about to rain. You understand me? And I have to cut it short. Let me see if I can get that in the commandment. Let's go to second Ezra. Let me get second Ezra. Let me get chapter 9, and I'm gonna start at verse 43. Second Ezra chapter 9 verse 43. But the day of doom shall be the end of this time, and the beginning of the immortality for to come, wherein corruption is past, impotence is at its end, infidelity is cut off, righteousness is grown, and the truth is sprung up. You understand me? Then shall no man be able to save him that is destroyed, nor to oppress him that have gotten the victory. Meaning that any new bodies, we won't be oppressed no more. We won't have to teach each other no more. We won't have to rule over each other no more, because we'll have new bodies. You understand me? Isaiah 65 and 17. We won't have no remembrance of this life. Meaning that you won't have no memories of the physical nature, because we're gonna have new bodies. So the physical nature is no more. Because see, understand, when man eyes became open, he caused that sin, because death reigned from Adam to all the way to now. You understand me? Because the wages of sin is death, because he told Adam, the day you eat, you will die. You understand me? And that's what it is. See, so we're gonna have new bodies. You understand me? See, so y'all have to understand what y'all really worshiping, because see, really, y'all don't understand what y'all worshiping. And as a result of that, y'all die in idolization. You understand me? You die outside of your faith, despite of your confessions and despite of your belief. Let me get Romans 12 and 2. Romans chapter 12 verse 2. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that's good and acceptable and the perfect will of Yahweh. Meaning that y'all can't be conformed to the religious ideology and philosophy of man, and y'all conform to Jesus. Y'all conform to this religious practices. Y'all conform to democracy, but y'all not conform to the commandments, because again, the church don't teach you the commandments. The church focus on social issues. You understand me? Being good, do good. You can't do this, you can't do that. Yet at the end of the day, even though y'all had daily devotions, Bible studies, and got baptized, right? Yet through your baptism, you are separated from Yahweh God. Through your baptism, you are an enemy to Yahweh God. Through your baptism, you come foolish and silent, because you don't even understand what you worship. You got baptized in something that you know nothing about. You understand me? See, so you have to learn and understand what y'all worshiping, because worshiping is an act of obedience, and Yahweh Shai put it into the physical nature, so we are no longer governed by the physical nature. You understand me? Learn what y'all worshiping.